Well, welcome back to Base Camp, WNC. We're here right now. This thing here is what was left of a shell of a outhouse we built for a boy that's a professional dog trainer. He trains pointing dogs, fleshing dogs, and retrieving dogs. And this was an outhouse for the farm over there, but it was never used. Been sitting for about 2 years. I did build this one a couple years ago for him. Door blew apart in hurricanes and storms we've had, so what he's got now is he has a shooting area where they do tower shoots and training dogs and facilities that have it's completely off-grid. So as the title says, it's going to be an off-grid flushable toilet outhouse. Like I said, it was never used. We can sneak up here on the inside. This thing, as you can tell, there's no hole cut in there. There is a few bees nest in this thing. They kind of like it. So we got to spray some more of them down. As you can tell, for the farm, we weren't going to really worry about it, but being there be some ladies involved and all, we're going to make kind of like a board and batten out of this thing. We're going to put little strips of wood over the boards. Let me walk around the side and show it to you. Like I said, out here, you can kind of see in, see out. Ladies probably aren't going to like that. I don't know how much you'd really see from out here, but we're going to put a little 1x2 strip over them, kind of make it look like it's board and batten. Finish the corners up. We are going to attach a 55-gallon drum up here on the back. We're going to put a rain gutter across the back end of the roof, right across here. Let it drain into the drum. That'll be just gravity feed water to control the water in the commode. This side here will actually be back against the woods. We'll show you where it's going to be sitting. So we're actually going to put an outside sink here for washing your hands. We're going to mount it on these 4x4, 12-foot 4x4s. Let them stick out a little bit here on the back to support that drum and have some legs there on the back. And then, of course, the front end's up here. And then we're going to end up having a ramp. We'll take this step off and actually build a ramp all the way down. And probably the right-hand side, put a handrail to go up, change the door. We're going to put a window in it. And on the big days, he has tire shoots where there's 50, 60, 70 people out there. He has a 400 or 500 gallon tank on a trailer he's going to bring out with a couple batteries on it and a 12-volt pump, and just hook it to that and let that fill the toilet and wash the sink up. And then when he's done, he has a problem. He don't believe he can leave the trailer out there all the time. So then he'll fill that 55-gallon drum up, and that'll supply flushing water while he's out there training during the week and should a client show up. And he said if he needs to fill it, he'll do that. But what we're going to do, this thing will actually be code compliant. Buried underneath of it will be a 400 or 500 gallon tank. It'll be dug down in the ground. The commode will actually flush into that tank. It'll have a clean out. And once or twice a year, the Portalet people will come by and suck out that tank. There'll be no drain field. There won't be a septic tank permit. It's legal because he's not discharging any effluent. This thing's just going to be a lot higher class, a little bit cleaner, a little bit better Portalet is all it really is. But it is off-grid. It will be flushable. It'd be no different. You could do this in your off-grid place. You could then go ahead and have a tank and a drain field. But for everybody that's living off-grid with composting toilets and outhouses, it is possible. We're going to show you how to do it. And we're going to get here and start jacking this thing up and get it going, and I'll show you as we go. Well, here we are. We're back on the project. I worked till about dark last night. We put 30 inches out the back on these skids, the rest sticking out front. As you see, put my finger here in the picture. We cut them on a bit of a slant. Hopefully this thing won't have to be moved, but if it does, it'll make it a little bit easier to tow around. We're going to put a tow hitch on it and everything else. But what we're doing right now is we're putting a floor on the inside. And we figure you'll walk up this ramp, open the door, and we're going to put the commode kind of sideways in this thing. But right there's the hole for it. And I forgot about filming this thing, so we're going to put down new 1x6 pine boards. And what he's actually done for this thing, I don't know if you can see it in here or see it outside. He actually just sprayed motor oil on this thing years ago, and I imagine that's what he'll treat again. He's got the door frame here bumped around a little bit, so we'll straighten some of that out. We're going to put this floor in and show you what it looks like then. Well, this is part of the ramp. We came up with about 13-inch spacing on the bottom pieces, and being ready to go with some thinner wood for the ramp boards, we went 9-inch spacing between all the runs, and we'll get them all put on here and show you what they look like. Well, here's pretty much all the end of the building part of it. As you can see, we got the ramp that'll go up, new floor put inside, so it'll be heavy enough to hold the commode up, look a lot better. Let's walk around here to the Here's the side of it. On the far end there will be a handrail over there, but then on this side here is where we're going to put a gun rack, so you can put your gun up when you go in the outhouse. And then back here there'll be a sink, washing your hands. And this whole thing right here, we added this little piece of the wall back here to hide that water tank on the back end. And this whole building was treated with oil, so I believe he's going to re-oil it. We have to put a roof on yet. That's just some roof fabric up there to keep it dry. We'll take you around the back side and show you how that's going to work. Well, here's the back side of it. Like I said, we're going to, for no more than what it is, when I get to the part 2, you'll see there's going to be a piece of rain gutter come across the back. It'll have a leaf guard on it. It'll flow into the top of the tank. He's going to put it underneath a bunch of trees for shade so it doesn't get so hot, so I don't really see that much rainwater really getting into it. It'll go into the top hole up here. The bottom hole right here will have a hose come out and hook into the commode tank that's on the other side of this wall. And then the other one will go down just to the sink. He's got a 400 or 500 gallon tank on a trailer he plans on taking out when he has these big pheasant shoots and matches and whatnot, and he'll be using that. We get it in place. He's talked to the Portalette people. We're going to put a holding tank down in the ground, partially bury it so this thing isn't sitting up in the air so far. And he's actually made a deal. Portalette people will come by. It's a 350, 400 gallon tank they'll put in the ground, and they'll charge him $75 to pump it. So he's trying to figure out if it'd take every 2 months or something like that to pump it, or just how often it'll be used. Well, this is pretty much the end of the build. This is what we're going to be doing. For everybody here that would like to have a place up in the mountains, want to go off grid, but the biggest stumbling block may be your spouse that doesn't want a compost and toilet, doesn't want an outhouse. Everything that's in here, whether it's inside this outhouse or if it's inside your cabin, it can all be done the same. This is just an idea. This is, like I said, this is going out on a hunting area, dog training facility, and is what they got to deal with. There is no electric out there or anything else. So, and this is a flushable toilet will be in that thing, so it won't have the smell and the stink of a Portalette, or regardless how much perfume they put in the water. It is what it is. But this could be a better deal for the people that just don't want a compost and toilet outhouse type setup. This is something a little bit different. Like I said, when we're waiting on them right now to get the hole dug and get it in the right place, get the tank set. This thing will be pumped by a Portalette company, so it's not a septic tank permit or anything else involved, because there is no discharge of anything. So we're going to take you along with the build, show you some shots, let you see what it's like, and go from there. Like it, share it, subscribe. I thank you. Hit the bell, all that kind of good stuff. And we'll see you on part 2 when we get it all hooked up and working.